I'm cleaning off my computer and I have a few videos that I need to get off to make some space. So this is a good opportunity to revisit BLM. We're going to do kind of a speed round video dump and go into how BLM came about and some things that you might not know about them. So what a lot of people don't know is there's a man named Eric Mann, and he is actually some would say the puppet master behind BLM, and Patrice Coates, one of the co-founders of BLM, actually, he is her mentor, and she studied at a place called the Strategy Center, and she will admit in these videos that she is a trained activist. So my thing with BLM, now it was Trayvon Martin where it started, but it really hit the map for a lot of people, especially me, after Michael Brown and Ferguson. Now, I don't think this whole movement, it had more to do with an activist movement. It had more to do, in my opinion, with a Marxist agenda, and they just saw an opportunity to go ahead and make this thing what it was. And since BLM has ended, we have not seen any investments in communities. In fact, in a lot of the communities that did see a lot of the protest, they're actually a lot less safe and have not been the same since. Many of these communities, if not all of them. So let's just go back in time and revisit. Now, first, you're going to hear Eric Mann talk, and you're going to see what he does. He does a play on words. This is purposeful. And if you look at the name Black Lives Matter, it's very purposeful what it's called, because if you don't agree with the movement, what are they going to say? So you don't think he does that on purpose. Because if you can win that, you are basically already won the war.
One of my lessons, spoiler alert, is whoever wins the terms of debate eventually wins the politics. So when we started telling the school board, stop military racism, it actually influenced the chief of police in LA that I'll tell you about. This is a fast forward. But they called the gym Jim Crow. G-Y-M, Crow, right? So as soon as they called the gym Jim Crow, in my opinion, that was the end. You won. Because who wants to say, no, we must keep Jim Crow, right? So you see, and then it's not called Jim Crow. Well, as I tell people, Coca-Cola doesn't care. If you say, I don't like Coca-Cola, I hate Coca-Cola, they say, just keep saying it. So the more you say, I don't like Jim Crow, don't call it Jim Crow, that Jim was dead. But it's not that easy. So first you win the battle of ideas, right? But now you have to win the actual power struggle. Think about the brilliance of rhetoric that was used during the 60s and how much we give all these young people say, hey, I invented the spoken word. Let me break it to you. We knew the spoken word.
What an incredible...
In the next video, you're going to see him talking about who he basically recruits to help lead his movements.
Based on guerrilla warfare principles, which is you're up against a far more powerful enemy. And you have a very small little army, and you're trying to figure out with this little army that maybe at best is like a flea bite. You know, how do you kill an elephant with flea bites?
We start with the intersection of the Black and Latino community as a strategic alliance that's central to building a broader multiracial left.
This is the father of Black Lives Matter.
Of the Black trans women who have been murdered.
To the extent that Black people are involved, these are useful idiots. These are people who are fronts to carry out the agenda of white Marxists.
If we don't have a base in the Black and Latino community, we can't branch out. You gotta have a strategy, and that's at least my strategy. We don't believe that majority white organizations can be transformative organizations.
Black Lives Matter? It's a white run.
And now you're going to see Patrice Coates, the co-founder of BLM, talking about Eric Mann and her time at the Strategy Center and how that is her mentor.
The Black Lives Matter theme, and also talk about the strategy. You mentioned you had come out of the Strategy Center. What was the Strategy Center?
Well, I'm a trained organizer, and so I think sometimes people think that because Black Lives Matter is the biggest thing, that's the first thing I ever did, and it's not. I was trained knocking on doors, you know, getting on buses and passing out flyers, and getting people to join organizations. The Labor Community Strategy Center is my first political home. It's where I would be a part of what it's famous for, which is the Bus Riders Union.
Started by an old friend of mine,
Yes,
Eric Mann,
Eric
right?
Mann, that's my mentor.
And that hashtag Black.
If you've been following the criticism of BLM, then you've probably seen the clip I'm about to show you. This, again, is Patrice Coates, and here she is saying that she is a trained Marxist, and there is a broader agenda behind what they're doing.
I also think that it might, I think of a lot of things. The first thing I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists. We are super versed on sort of ideological theories. And I think that what we really try to do is build a movement that
is a journalist that I follow. He put together a really good documentary. It's free it's a mini documentary. It's only about 17 minutes long. It's free on YouTube. It's called Inside BLM. Ami Horowitz is his name. And here's a small clip from it. This was actually the area that he's talking about, the Fairfax district. That was my neighborhood in Los Angeles. And the night that all of this went down in Los Angeles, I actually got stuck in the middle of it because I didn't realize how big and widespread some of this activity was happening. So, and these were people that did not live in my neighborhood, that came to my neighborhood and did these things to my neighborhood.
Patrice Coates, one of the founders of BLM, called for the destruction of the only Jewish state in existence.
If we don't step up boldly and courageously to end the imperialist project that's called Israel, we're doomed.
Most disturbing was what happened on May 30th, 2020, when a Black Lives Matter Los Angeles protest became a riot in the heavily Jewish Fairfax district. In what is a widely underreported event, they destroyed or defaced Jewish businesses, Jewish schools, and every synagogue in the neighborhood. Believe it or not, Abdullah, one of the national leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement, was actually holding back even more disturbing views.
There was a lot I would have liked to talk about, but we're dealing with a lot of safety issues right now, so I have to be really careful.
You could talk about it, but wasn't you worried that you could have answered some of those questions?
I probably would have been a little bit more forthcoming.
Those are all the videos I have. Hopefully you learned a thing or two about BLM, maybe some things that you didn't know. They get criticized a lot, but a lot of people don't know about the strategy center. A lot of people don't know about Eric Mann and who is really behind all of this. So again, I hope you enjoyed that and have a good day.